Hi team, this is a video update. If you're very new to the team, you may not have seen one of these because I haven't done one recently, but with all the transition that's been going on, I thought it would be important to do one, and just frankly, this is going to be a little bit longer, only because I want to just make sure I address everything that I think needs to be said. And so just bear with me on that, and I'll try to be as succinct as possible. But I just want to keep everyone up to date on our transition and what I'm thinking and feeling, and make sure that I'm encouraging you, because I do believe that Crossroads' best days are ahead of us, not behind us. And I think there are some exciting things happening, but we are going through a transition and we need to navigate that. I want you to know that I'm beginning to look for a person to fill the worship leader position. We do have a worship leader position, someone who would lead worship a couple times a month, maybe a little bit more than that. That search could take several months. We want to find the right person that fits who we are and can take us forward, and so I'm just going to be careful to find the right person. But we are starting that search. In the meantime, Katie, Kenzie, Bill, and I will be leading worship on a regular basis, and you see that already happening now. When we hire the new worship leader, then Bill and I will step back. We'll still continue to lead occasionally, but Bill can really focus then on the vocal team, which is his strength, and I can focus on overall production and leadership development. We're learning a lot in Wednesday rehearsals right now, and I want you to know that I am taking notes and looking at things. We found that we need to make sure all the charts and lyrics and MP3s and tracks are updated so that everything's the same. I'm working hard on that right now to make sure that that's happening, and so I think in the next several weeks we'll make sure that is good for Wednesdays. Also looking at when we have a different set of players, like if it's not just two electrics, one acoustic, bass, drums, keys. We're mixing things up a little bit, and so what if there's only one electric guitar? What if there's no acoustic guitar? We're going to have to play differently and mix differently, and so I'm beginning to look at that, and you can expect more from me on that in the future. Scott Simpson and I are working hard in ProPresenter and Planning Center Online. We are learning a lot of new things, and I think that it's our goal and desire is to make things easier and more accessible to everyone. And we're going to achieve that, I think. So we're on our way with that kind of stuff, and you can expect more updates on that. I'm also in the process of looking for a video tech director. This will solve the issue of needing someone on staff near the stage or on the stage, and also back in production on Sunday. Right now I'm running back and forth, and I can do it for a little while, but our ministry would best be served by having two staff members that are able to do that. And obviously a video tech director would increase our capacity in video and provide leadership for a video team. And so I'm in the process of looking for that as well. I'm also budgeting for next year, and I want you to know that some more in-ear monitors are in the budget. And so I'm excited about that. Some lighting upgrades and a few other things, just looking to continue to improve our auditorium and our stage and our capacity to do what we do. I just want everyone to be sure to know that we're not going to take Crossroads style, our creative team style, in a radical new direction. We still want to rock out as a church. We still want to be who we are as Crossroads, and that's not going to change. Now, for the last 2 years, we have been putting more emphasis on passionate worship. That's because our culture is changing. The culture around us is changing, and the nature of those that come that are not Christians, what they're expecting from church is changing. And so the message never changes, right? But the methods do change. As our culture changes, our methods change to adapt to them so that we're effective at reaching people for Christ. So yes, we are focusing more on worship music. We're doing less performance elements. Those are the kind of changes we're making. But it's not going to change the core of who Crossroads is. And I just wanted everyone to understand that. I wanted to mention our online presence, our online church. I don't know if you know this, but over the last 3 years, the online attendance has grown 20 to 25% over the previous year. So we're seeing a lot of growth there. People are checking out our church via online services. Some are watching regularly. Many people are watching if they're sick or traveling, and it's a new technology that we're using effectively, and so we're going to continue to push that and upgrade that so that we can multiply our ministry. So it's not just on Sundays, but it's available 24/7 and to anyone, anywhere, and I think that's exciting. Now, here's a few things to remember. Whenever there's change in an organization, right, there's a ripple effect. And so we have had that effect. We're discovering what needs to change and what needs to be adjusted now that we don't have a full-time worship and programming director. This process is probably going to take 4 to 6 months as far as I can tell. And so that's where we are right now. Secondly, we didn't just lose Ben and Ben's position. We have chosen a new strategy for staffing creative arts. That strategy involves more part-time positions and more volunteer leadership. Right, so ultimately I believe it'll set us up very well for the future and for moving forward, increasing our capacity as a team. And just so you know, many other churches are moving to this kind of staffing, so it's not just us. But during this transition time, it's going to be a little harder, and I think we're finding that. You may feel frustrated or disillusioned, or you wonder what's going to happen. Maybe there's some confusion, and boy, I understand that. I just want to acknowledge that that's gonna happen, and it's normal, but it won't last forever. We're working hard to create this new thing that will be different, but it's also going to be very effective for us as a team. So, what can you do? I want to end our time today talking about that. The first thing is hang in there, be patient. I hope that I have built up enough trust among all of you in the last 4 years that you can extend me some grace as we manage this transition, as I lead us through this transition. Thank you for sticking with the team. I really appreciate that. And your understanding and patience is so helpful. And I think we just show grace to each other and we find our way. We're going to come through this even stronger as a team than we were before. Another thing that you might consider doing is stepping up. Some of you have already done this. If you would like to learn a new tech position, or a console, if you'd like to serve an extra week or work on team projects, well, let me know that, and we'll make that happen. One thing everyone can do is get back to Scott right away when we're doing our scheduling. Many of you are doing that, and I really appreciate that. Remember, this isn't Jim Jensen's team. This is all of our teams. We're all in this together. And so as we work together, we create the team that we want. And I can lead that process, and I believe I am leading that process, but ultimately it's for all of us to decide what kind of team we're going to be and how we're going to manage through this transition. Third thing is prayer. Prayer is very important, and it's often underrated in my view. Now, I'm praying for you. And I'm praying for our team, and I'm praying for Crossroads. My question is, are you praying? I would encourage you, if you are not praying regularly for our team and for Crossroads, do that. God loves to hear our prayers. It shows that we are dependent on Him for the future, and we need to be dependent on God for the future of Crossroads and for the future of our creative team. So join me in prayer. Finding more team members is important right now. 4 years ago, we were positioned fairly poorly in terms of our number of volunteers. We are much better today than we were then, which is great. But we're still short in a few areas. We could use more tenor singers, more guys. We could use more guitar players, and we could use more camera people. I'm following up on every lead, and I'm looking as best I can, but it would be so much more effective if everybody on the team was looking. And so I would encourage you to do that. You don't even need to tell me if you want to bring a friend to shadow you on a Sunday or a Wednesday. Just do it. I would like to know, introduce me to them. I'd like to know that that's happening. But if there's someone that's interested in what you're doing, maybe they would like to be a part of it, or you find someone, hey, just have them shadow. There's no strings attached to that. We can always back away from that if they're not qualified or they don't like it, whatever. But just inviting people to join you and join us as we serve, go for it. And together we can build the team. So those are some things that I think we can all do during this transition. I am very willing to answer questions, to take suggestions. If you see something and you think, man, we're missing this, or hey, Ben used to do this thing that really helped on Sundays and now it's being neglected. There's no way I'm going to know all of that stuff. So if you see something, tell me about it. Ultimately, I am excited about the future of Crossroads. Man, this For You thing is cool, and it's breathing new life into our church to be for others and to have that mindset. The things that we're doing in Sylvania, like the parade, and just being for you in Sylvania, I think is a big deal. We just had the largest trunk or treat we've ever had, 3,700 people, so many guests at our campus and welcoming them. And we're seeing some of them check out our church on Sundays now in these weeks. I just think all of that's exciting. We've got a great Christmas planned. It's going to be fun, and it's going to have all the Christmas feels. And I am excited about this transition. It is, of course, it's frustrating to not be able to do everything and be everything that we need to be right now. But I think that we can position ourselves well for the future. And we can come to a place where our capacity and our depth and our ministry is more effective and is just as fun and is just moving forward in the way that God wants it to, and for Crossroads as well.